Hello everybody, welcome to another vinyl update video. It's been, I think, since about October since I did one of these. I've got quite a lot of records here. Many of these were kind of Christmas gifts and stuff like that, so it's been a while. I've been meaning to do this video for quite a bit, and I have obviously bought a few of these since Christmas, so we'll just get into it. So I've bought an absolute ton of Bob Dylan stuff, because I mean everybody's kind of into Bob Dylan at the moment. I'm hugely into Bob Dylan. Got into Dylan probably about August last year. I finally really discovered him, and he's going to become one of my absolute favourite artists. Ignore the dog if you hear like rummaging around. But first, freewheeling Bob Dylan. I got this from Rough Trade in Liverpool back in November. Pretty basic pressing, Columbia record. It's a stereo pressing. Wonderful album. Proper warm sound to it. Fantastic songwriting, and Dylan's voice on this, the early stuff, that very scratchy kind of voice, I personally really love. A fantastic album. I really do need to get The Times They Are Changing. Yeah, it's got loads of classics on it. Blowing in the Wind, Girl from the North Country, Hard Rain's Gonna Fall, Masters of War, Don't Think Twice, It's Alright. It's a brilliant album. Brilliant album. Yeah, and I think this was like $12.99 from Rough Trade. So, absolute bargain. Incredible album. We've also got Bringing It All Back Home, Bob Dylan. This is again a stereo pressing. It's a repress from like 2021 or something like that. Fantastic album. This is the first record in which Dylan kind of ventured into electric music and blues and rock. Of course, if you're a Dylan fan, you're going to know this, but the first half of the record is like blues rock, and the second half is the classic folk kind of stuff. Fantastic album. Subterranean Homesick Blues, Maggie's Farm, Love Minus Zero, No Limit, Outlaw Blues, Mr. Tambourine Man, It's Alright Ma, I'm Only Bleeding, which is one of his best ever songs. It's All Over Now Baby Blue, which is again like one of my favourite Dylan songs. Fantastic LP. This is pretty similar to it's a stereo pressing on Columbia, just like Freewheeling was. Brilliant album. Played it once, sounds great. And of course, Highway 61. It's the first Dylan album I got. This I actually got ages ago. I think I just forgot to show this in the last update. Maybe I did show it. I'm not completely sure. One of the greatest albums of all time, and this pressing sounds incredible. It's a mono press. It sounds absolutely wonderful. I mean, everyone knows this album. Like a Rolling Stone, Teamster Blues, Takes a Lot to Laugh, A Train to Cry, Ballad of a Thin Man, Queen Jane, Highway 61, Just Like Tom Thumb's Blues, and of course, Desolation Road at the end. Desolation Row, sorry, not Road. Okay. Wonderful album. Iconic in every way. I don't know what more to say about it. Mono, Columbia Records. Yeah, one of the greats. An album that everybody should own. It's kind of a disgrace I didn't own it sooner, to be honest. We've also got a mono press of Blonde on Blonde. This was a Christmas present from my dad. I've got it in a protective sleeve because it got a bit damaged. I should really, I'm meaning to put all of these in sleeves. I have got some. I don't know where they are currently, but I have got some. Because it got kind of damaged. If you can't tell that, apparently it came like that in the post, which is a bit shit on Royal Mail's part or whoever delivered it. It's a Gatefold album because I think this is. I might be wrong. Is this the first double LP of all time? It's an amazing album, and this is a mono pressing, of course. Yeah, it's a mono press, and it sounds wonderful. Yeah, in terms of favourite tracks off this album, there was shitloads because it's a double LP, but it's a wonderful album. It hasn't even got the track listing on it, I don't think. But you know, favourites of mine off this record: Visions of Johanna, One of Us Must Know, Stuck Inside the Memphis Blues, Just Like a Woman, Fourth Time Around, Sad Eyed Lady of the Lowlands. Amazing album. This is an absolute classic. Classic era Dylan. He was just absolutely, he was banging them out during this period. Yeah, I'd say, though I don't think this is my favourite Dylan record, I'll get to that in a moment. It is one of the absolute greatest. It's really up there, along with Highway 61. Okay, next up we've got Blood on the Tracks. This is, I think, possibly my favourite album, like, ever, at the moment. I can't get enough of this record. Every track on it is absolutely wonderful. It's an incredibly emotional and just powerful LP, musically fantastic. Tangled Up in Blues, Simple Twist of Fate, You're a Big Girl Now, Idiot Wind, which Idiot Wind is one of the greatest songs I've ever heard. You're Gonna Make Me Lonesome When You Go, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful songs. Buckets of Rain, Shelter from the Storm. I even love Lily Raised Me in the Jack of Hearts. I think that's a wonderful song. It's just got loads of personality to it. This is a pressing on. It's on Columbia. It's a stereo press. There won't be a mono press of this because it came out in the 70s. I don't know if I showed the back. This one of my absolute, if not my favourite record at the moment. It's an incredible, incredible album. Totally an essential, if you ask me. It is a fantastic record. Can't stress enough how much I love that. We've also got what is basically the sequel to Blow on the Tracks, Desire. Desire, fantastic album. I've not played this at all actually, this pressing. I've heard the album plenty of course. Hurricane, Isis, Mozambique, One More Cup of Coffee, Black Diamond Bay. Yeah, this is a really good album. It's a great follow-up. It's got a lot of fantastic instrumentation and really nice like string arrangements. Of course, this one's actually got images and stuff on the sleeve. This, obviously, the band on this album is basically the Rolling Thunder review band, which, if you haven't seen the documentary, the Gus Essie one on Netflix, it's absolutely fantastic. Can't recommend that enough. Really a great LP. Not as good as Blood on the Tracks in my opinion, but it is a very, very good album. Last of the Bob Dylan related stuff, of course, recently, the movie A Complete Unknown came out, and the guy at the record store I go to reserved me one of these, so I picked it up. There's a picture of Timothy Chalamet as Bob Dylan, and there's another one. I really, really enjoyed the film. I saw it twice. You know, it's got its inaccuracies and stuff. If you've read much about Dylan, you would know that you know all that. Nice image on there. But I think Timmy did a really, really good job as Dylan, and I think these renditions are actually very nice. Hard Rain's Gonna Fall is my favourite one, I think. I think he did a fantastic job of that. I think he also did a really good Subterranean Homesick Blues. This vinyl version is shortened, I think, compared to the one that's on like Apple Music and stuff, which is a bit annoying. It Ain't Me Babe is not on here, which is a shame because it's probably the best song on this soundtrack. Yeah, it's a nice thing to have. It's a cool soundtrack. I probably won't play it very often. And yeah, actually, something notable about this, I think all of them are like this. It's a red vinyl, so that's kind of cool. To be honest, didn't sound amazing when I played it, but you know, it's fine. Decent soundtrack, but again, I don't think I'll be playing it very often, but I'm happy to have it. It's pretty cool. Right, now we're finally out of Dylan. This is a Christmas album. Songs in the Key of Life, Stevie Wonder. I've been meaning to get this for years because it's an absolutely amazing classic LP. Sounds incredible. One of the greatest albums of all time. And like I say, this pressing sounds absolutely spectacular. It's on, I think, Motown Records. I won't get all the records out because there's fucking loads. Well, there's 2 LPs and then there's the 7-inch because this album is long. I'm pretty sure this is a nearly 2-hour album, I think. Which for the 70s, it's pretty quick. That won't go back in there now. And it also comes with this friggin' huge book full of like, credits and stuff like that. Yeah, credits and lyrics. I mean, what more can be said about this album? I do need to get more Stevie Wonder because this classic 70s era for him is just extraordinary, isn't it? Friggin' there you go. I think that's in there. That 70s era, the Talking Book and albums like that, Inner Visions, just spectacular stuff. This is a wonderful album. Hang on, I'll show you the gatefold. Bloody book down there. There's the gatefold. Amazing. It's an awesome album cover as well. This is just, you know, it's a record everybody knows is just bloody wonderful. It's full of classic songs. Bang. Songs in the Key of Life. Next up, it's another Christmas album from my mum. The Raconteurs, Broken Boy Soldiers. A fantastic album. I'm a huge fan of the Raconteurs. I think they're a really underrated band. I'm a big Jack White fan. If you've seen any of these videos, you'd know that. I think I've had Jack White records in all of these updates. Boom. It's on Third Man Records, of course. So got like a book in here. Here it has, or a poster. It's a poster. But yeah, if you don't know the Raconteurs, they're just a really, really cool blues kind of rock band. They almost sound a little bit like a 60s band, I think. There they are. Yeah, I love this group. If you're not familiar, get familiar, I'd say, because they are incredibly cool and talented. They made 3 records. You know, they may make a 4th one day. Never split up or anything. Their third album I wasn't a huge fan of, though, to be honest. What was it called? Help Us Stranger, I think it was called. It was alright. These first 2 are incredible, way better. So I basically, you know, I won't even cut there actually. I did also get the second album, Consolers of the Lonely, which I think is better than the first album. Fantastic energy on this record and a great diversity of songs. This is like a super friggin' gatefold. There you are. If I flip that around, a bit annoying, but fuck it. Yeah, there's that. This is an incredibly cool album, and it also sounds amazing on vinyl. There it is, Consolers of the Lonely. Yeah, I love these records. I played them an awful lot last year. I listened to them a lot, you know, when I was working and stuff like that. These were on my rotation quite a lot, so I'm very, very happy to have them on vinyl. Love Jack White, Raconteurs. Check them out. Right, we're towards the end of this now. Here's 2 things I got incredibly cheap recently. It's Live Cream 1 and Live Cream 2. These were both about a tenner. Really, really, really cool. No, if you know, huge Cream fan. I've got all their studio albums in there. The live stuff, I tend to listen to the live stuff more because they would always erupt into massive, chaotic, bluesy jams. But the playing is absolutely amazing. Of course, you've got Eric Clapton and Jack Bruce, who are both fantastic players. And then, of course, Ginger Baker, who's my favourite drummer of all time. Absolutely pounding away. Spectacular drummer. Just an epic, epic style. A really interesting life as well. In fact, I would totally recommend, if you're at all a fan of Cream, I would totally recommend Ginger Baker's book. I think this is a brilliant, brilliant read. He was perhaps not the nicest character, but an incredibly chaotic and interesting life, to say the least. So there you go. Oh, fucking hell, can't be arsed putting that back. I'll put that back in a minute. Right, yeah. So they sound really, really good. I played the first one, I haven't played the second one. So happy to have those. Next up, we've got Blind Faith. I'm showing you this album cover from the back because if you know this record, you would know why I can't show it from the front. They were a super group consisting of Eric Clapton, Steve Winwood, Ginger Baker and Rick Gretsch. Very, very shortly lived. Clapton would go on to form like Derek and the Dominoes after this. Is that hair or something? That's been there the whole video. That's annoying. Yeah, this is a good album. It's got some really nice songs on it. Had to Cry Today's a tune. Can't Find My Way Home. I think it's a Stevie Winwood like fan favourite. It's got Deal What You Like, which is this massive jazz outro track. Goes on for like 15 minutes. Presence of the Lord. Yeah, this is a... Ooh, can't show the cover. This is a good album, and I've been meaning to get it for quite a while, so I finally picked it up. Yeah, kind of a lesser known group, but you know, they're definitely worth checking out. I mean, they didn't last long, obviously, they only made this album, but they have released a couple of live records from Blind Faith. It's an interesting, actually, story, the whole Blind Faith summer tour of 1969, because, I mean, Eric Clapton was completely detached from the rest of the band and was hanging out with the support act more, who I forget the name of. Yeah, it's an interesting story. Look up the story of Blind Faith and listen to the album as well, because it's pretty good. I tell a lie, this is my most recent purchase. Now, I don't know if I showed in a previous one of these that I got an original copy of Relics, but it was battered when I tried to play it. So we'll just keep that on the shelf as like a kind of collector's item. And here is the 2018, I think, repress, which these Pink Floyd remasters are amazing. Can't recommend them enough. They sound absolutely fantastic. The 2016 remasters, I think they are. It's on Pink Floyd Records. I love this compilation. It's got a lot of early Syd Barrett stuff, which in a way, it's kind of my personal favourite Pink Floyd stuff. I know that's not a popular opinion, but I mean, Animals is my favourite album, but I adore Piper at the Gates of Dawn. I think it's a wonderful LP. Love Source for the Secrets as well. Arnold Layne, Interstellar Overdrive, See How Many Play, Remember a Day, Careful With That Axe, Eugene, The Nile Song, Bike, which is a wonderful track. Also closes Dark Side of the Moon. This is a stereo press, but I do believe Arnold Layne and See How Many Play are both in mono on here. It's fantastic. Sounds great. I played it the other day. Really, really, really enjoyed listening to this. Love Pink Floyd, and I, of course, cannot wait to see the Pompeii film re-released in IMAX next month. I'm going to be there, book my ticket. So there you go, Pink Floyd Relics. Okay, the last record here, this is a bit of an unusual find. I found this in a bookshop, strangely enough. A bookshop that sells records as well, I should say. Really good selection of records. It's Revolver. Now, I own multiple copies of Revolver because it's one of my absolute favourite records. Huge Beatles geek. But this is what's interesting here. It's a Brazilian press, and it's in mono. A mono Revolver is quite hard to come across, and if you want a mono Revolver, you're going to have to pay big bucks. This was £25. I don't know how official it is, but it's on a record called label called Odeon, and it's like a cream vinyl. So that's quite interesting. I played it and it sounds pretty good. It sounds decent. So I'm pretty made up to have this, to be honest. Now it's a bit. I mean, I'm kind of frowned upon by my friends for having so many records and stuff, and you know, multiple editions of records. I get called a bit nerdy and things like that. But you know, Revolver is an album I do own many copies of. It's a record. If I ever find a weird copy of it, like out in the wild, I will pick it up because I just adore this album so much. It's a record that means a great deal to me. So I'm actually made up to have this. It sounds really good. It's a mono copy of Revolver, and there's nothing wrong with having multiple copies of Revolver because it is just probably the greatest album ever. So yeah, there you go. That's the last of this haul. Thank you very much if you have watched it to the end. I'll see you in the next one.